60 Minutes claims it underwent a 5-year investigation into the origins of Havana Syndrome, how it came about, and who was affected and potentially why. The injured have claimed they suffered various types of brain and ear injuries, some permanent, some not, referred to as mild traumatic brain injury. Others contribute the consequences of these injuries to needing multiple surgeries. During the 60 Minutes program, 100 was the number quoted as those who were injured. Who was allegedly injured? National security officials, White House staff, CIA officers, FBI agents, military officers, and their families. The 60-minute presenter quoted, "Most of the injured have fought for America, and they're frustrated that the U.S. government publicly doubts that an adversary is targeting Americans." Olivia Troy, Homeland Security Advisor to Vice President Mike Pence under Donald Trump's administration, one of the alleged victims. An FBI agent was permitted by the FBI to speak about her condition/incident, but not permitted to discuss the cases she was investigating at the time of her alleged affliction. The claim that a Russian was pulled over on the road in Key West, Florida, who was in possession of a device that can delete car GPS records and computer data. It was further claimed the same Russian in question studied in military institutes, radio electronics. Quoted, has all the knowledge, know-how to assist in a criminal and spy capacity. The same Russian in question, he later immigrated to the US and lived and worked in New York and Washington, D.C. Later, it was found out that he was an electrical engineer. He was questioned for a reported 80 hours by FBI agents. Upon his return to Russia, he was reported dead on the front line in the Ukraine war, fighting for his country, Russia. This same FBI agent claims to have investigated many Russian spies during her career. 60 Minutes confirms that all agents hit were all doing something related to Russia. Where did these alleged attacks take place? On U.S. soil. Cuba, Georgia, Ukraine, Germany, Austria, and others. Many of the allegedly injured believe they were wounded by a secret weapon that fires a high-energy beam of microwaves or ultrasound. U.S. intelligence quoted, "There is no credible evidence that an adversary is inflicting brain injuries on national security officials." U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel, "My personal opinion, yes, we are under attack by Russia." He further went on to say, top-level agents are the only people being targeted. He claims these attacks have some element of Russian nexus. An American wife of a justice official who wishes her name to be eliminated for her own protection, whose husband was working in Georgia, reported an incident at her home. A nurse with a PhD, later needing multiple surgeries for her injuries. She said, "It absolutely does." When handed a picture of a young man, supposed son of a Russian military boss, confirming he looked in physical form like the man she saw on her driveway the day of her alleged infliction. After confirming with absolute certitude, she went on to say, "I cannot absolutely say for certain that it is the man, but I can tell you that even to this day, looking at him makes me feel that same visceral reaction, and I can absolutely say that this looks like the man I saw on the street." First ever cases reported in Germany by 2 Americans in Frankfurt, Germany. For the first time, we have evidence of who might be responsible. Written down in black and white. Investigative journalist who worked with Alexei Navalny. Closest to a receipt you can have for this. His comment pertaining to a document he claims to have sourced for a secret military unit. Secret Military GRU Unit 29155. When a paper was produced demonstrative of an alleged payment of an agent from Unit 29155, who was attributed to being paid a bonus for creating a potential capabilities of non-lethal acoustic weapons. The investigative reporter found Russian Secret Intelligence Unit, Military Unit 29155, trained to be assassins, sabotage operators, counterintelligence, trained in explosives, poison, technology equipment, trained to inflict pain, damage to targets. Fox News misquoted 60 Minutes on April 2024 as being hundreds of victims when speaking specifically about the 60-minute program. According to the Chief National Security at the Pentagon, the acoustic device weapon may have at one time been originally used as a listening device. Another commentator on Fox News claims that Russians were in the exact vicinity in various countries around the world. According to the same Chief National Security at the Pentagon, she contacted the Office of the Director of National Intelligence and CIA. Both have ruled out foreign interference evidence and stand by last year's analysis of hundreds of attacks, but does not call into question the very real symptoms and experience of the afflicted. Instead, the federal government, US, are referring to those claims as anonymous health incidents. Meanwhile, the BBC News had its own commentator who had this to say. The Biden administration has not given other details on this allegation or situation. That same commentator went on to say, referring to them as directed energy attacks, perhaps a secret sonic weapon developed by a secret military intelligence unit of Russia, or microwave signals aimed at US diplomatic personnel, undercover intelligence officers in Cuba or elsewhere in the world. It has been widely broadcasted that Cuba has noted its own skepticism on the syndrome origins and has zero involvement in any of this. It has its own internal issues and lack of resources and finances and does not stand to gain anything with its involvement. Investigative media group based in Latvia confirms its collaboration with 60 Minutes and German's Der Spiegel for a year-long investigation. They claim 3 media outlets have evidence and are able to geolocate Russian operatives around the world at the time of said health incidents. Said investigation found many of the victims had expertise and operative experience. 2024 takeaway from 60 Minutes program. The device to delete GPS records and computer data. Many people worldwide have these, including garages, private individuals, to erase miles and other data for fecal resale. All agents hit were involved in doing something, good or bad, remains to be seen, regarding Russia. Were these official investigations and surveillances or undocumented secret missions, using illegal espionage tactics to spy on Russia? All parties interviewed used the descriptions I believe, perhaps, might, could, maybe, in my personal opinion. All references were secret weapons, secret units, secret military, secret intelligence. High energy beams of microwaves and ultrasound. No recordings, not even on CCTV home security surveillance provided as tangible evidence at the moment of any alleged incidents at the nurse's home in Georgia or any other incidents. The same nurse uses definitive, manipulative, misleading and persuasive wording. Count how many times she uses the word absolutely. Absolutely confirming something only seconds later to absolutely refute, a non-committal of the absolute she absolutely confirmed. We don't know or were told where these so-called documents implicating Russia came from, or if they have been put through their paces to be authenticated. All of the depicted allegations of trained to kill assassins, counterintelligence, explosive training, technology equipment, and so on, are training every country and military undergoes. All agents interviewed hid behind giving limited, vague information without details due to confidentiality. For 60 Minutes to have undergone 5 years' investigation, there has not been one shred of evidence provided that proves anything conclusively with ironclad credibility. If there was, there would be some sort of criminal investigation charges brought to the people executing these alleged attacks, specifically since they claim that Russians were in every location at every alleged attack site. Names, faces would be known. If something is so confidential, why come forward with a case with so many holes? Why not take the case to the judicial system? No conclusive evidence after 5 years to present mostly opinions-based arguments. It opens a great many questions with the offering of too few answers. The bottom line: Office of the Director of National Intelligence and CIA both have ruled out foreign interference in evidence and stand by last year's analysis of hundreds of attacks. If they are not pursuing this line of investigation and blanketing an all-out dismissal, who can conclusively accuse a country or individuals? An unbiased evidence definition. The available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or proposition is true or valid. A belief is not enough for the police to take a statement of any potential crime, let alone to bring about a court case.